AI's true cost structure might just upend everything you thought you knew about cloud computing, especially when it comes to your GPU spend. It seems logical that renting cloud resources is more flexible and cost-effective. But what if this intuition is leading entire industries astray? Here's where the story gets unexpected and controversial. Every executive in the AI space should be able to calculate the long-term financial implications of their hardware choices. Yet very few have scrutinized the numbers behind on-premises GPU servers versus equivalent cloud rental. Put bluntly, purchasing a powerful GPU server for your own data center often costs the same as just 6 to 9 months of renting similar cloud resources. Yet that hardware typically remains operational for 3 to 5 years. This discrepancy should be headline news in boardrooms, but somehow it rarely is. Why? It all comes down to how we've been taught to think about technology budgets. The pay-as-you-go model of cloud computing is seductive. You sidestep large upfront investments, adjusting your spending as your needs change. This makes perfect sense, until you look at AI. That's when these economic models can start to crumble. Let's look at a concrete example. Renting a single NVIDIA H100 GPU from a major cloud provider regularly costs around $8 per hour, or more than $5,500 each month. Stretch this out to a year, and the bill skyrockets past $65,000. But what if you simply bought the same hardware? A one-time expense of $30,000 to $35,000 covers the GPU itself, and you'd still have it working reliably for at least 3 years. When you add in electricity, cooling, and essential maintenance, your total is still lower than the cloud alternative after just 6 to 9 months. And here's the kicker. That expensive upfront purchase sets you free from ongoing rental payments and hardware return headaches. But the story gets even more complex. Here's the controversial part many gloss over. Even within the cloud world, not all providers price alike. Up-and-coming neo-cloud companies might offer the coveted H100 for just $2 an hour, making the case for on-premise deployment even stronger compared to hyperscalers who charge up to 4 times as much. Now, let's broaden the lens and consider enterprise-scale deployments. Outfitting a server with 8 H100 GPUs from vendors like Dell or Supermicro might run $250,000. Renting those same capabilities from the cloud could easily cost your organization $825,000 over 3 years, sometimes more, even with supposed discounts for reserving resources in advance. Did you know that purchasing NVIDIA's own DGX system could mean you're paying a 50 to 100% premium above even these high figures? It's in these overlooked calculations that businesses risk missing out on very real, tangible savings, not just hypothetical ones. The difference grows even sharper when you examine how AI is actually used. Say you're running an AI training cycle. Most cloud vendors only promise you access to large GPU clusters if you sign yearly contracts, even if you only need them for a 2-week project. The result? You might pay for 52 weeks just to guarantee those 2 weeks of usage. But inference, the process where the AI spits out results, brings its own headaches. Many AI models use pricing schemes based on how many tokens they process, a metric that changes depending on the workload and is notoriously hard to forecast. This leaves budget planners guessing, not planning, as if they're predicting the weather. Cloud platforms famously promise elasticity, the idea that you can scale up or down instantly. But this promise often comes with fine print, quota restrictions, GPU shortages, and unpredictable costs can all slam the brakes on true flexibility. When large-scale or consistent usage is involved, cloud providers offer discounts, but only in exchange for long-term binding contracts that don't look so different from the capital expenditures the cloud was supposed to eliminate in the first place. Here's a twist. The very workloads that need the most agility and scaling, like AI, are often those that require the most rigid, pre-booked, and inflexible solutions in practice. Isn't it odd that cloud providers market flexibility above all else, but push their biggest AI customers toward old-school planning cycles and inflexible system commitments? Here's another hidden pitfall. To cover for unpredictable usage spikes, many teams reserve extra cloud capacity just in case, leading to costly idle time. Add in the hidden cost of moving data and code between different cloud providers, a process that can consume weeks of valuable engineering time. And you're looking at expenses that almost never show up in the official infrastructure budget. For small and nimble teams, these disruptions may delay product launches or market entries, quietly eroding business competitiveness over time. Now for a point that's sure to spark debate. The supposed complexity of running your own servers on site is often exaggerated. Unless your operation is enormous, managing in-house hardware or partnering with a managed service provider is far from unmanageable. In fact, when you own your hardware, complexity becomes something you see and plan for, unlike the unpredictable roller coaster of your monthly cloud bill. So what's the answer? Smart businesses are thinking outside the cloud versus on-prem box. The most forward-thinking organizations use hybrid setups for the best of both worlds. They run predictable, baseline AI processes on hardware they own, ensuring cost control and reliability, while relying on the cloud only when there's an unexpected surge or experimental needs that truly benefit from cloud elasticity. Here's what so many miss. Cloud services are still invaluable for quickly testing ideas or expanding globally. But treating cloud as the default for every single AI workload ignores the real math of how infrastructure gets used and can waste vast sums of money. Companies that get their approach right aren't just saving pennies. They are building stable, future-proof platforms for innovation. Because let's face it, the conversation is more than technical. Financial leaders may love the predictability of a clear recurring cloud expense, but engineers know the stress of chasing runaway costs and cutting resource use as the bills spike and customer support fails to keep up. Too often, accounting norms, not real-world performance, end up calling the shots. Truly successful organizations create dialogue between finance and engineering, jointly weighing not only financial impact, but also reliability, throughput, and flexibility. Understanding the hidden mathematics behind these choices isn't basic bookkeeping. It's the secret to building infrastructure that matches the realities of AI work. Get this wrong, and you could be holding your company back. Get it right, and you unlock the freedom to focus on what really matters: building smarter, more resilient AI systems. But what about you? Have you faced unexpected bills or inflexible cloud contracts that left your team scrambling? Or do you think on-premises computing is an outdated headache not worth the hassle? Do these